11 Most Weird Wedding Traditions Practiced Around the World. France, banging on the first night. This isn't the kind of banging a couple would expect on their wedding night. There is a weird tradition in France, where friends and family gather outside the room of the newlyweds, and start banging on the pots and pans. The couple has to pacify them by serving snacks and drinks. This bizarre tradition is known as charivari. The French brought this custom to America, where it spread from French settlements in Canada and Louisiana. In rough pioneer areas, the charivari became a ritual humiliation of the bride and groom. Fortunately for the bride and groom, this tradition has since become more refined, and is practiced today as simply tying a cowbell under the bed or tying cans to the car. Indonesia, holding your pee together in Borneo. This tradition of Indonesia is bizarre on so many levels. The bride and groom of the Tidong community in Borneo are plainly restricted to a house or a room. They aren't allowed to take a dump or even pee for 3 days and 3 nights. For some illogical reason, the people there believe that refreshing yourself with the bowel system and urine may result in an unhappy marriage, infertility or death of the children once they are born. They also believe that forcing them to hold their bladders and poop for 3 days will strengthen the bond between the couple. Scotland, the blackening ritual. In rural areas of Scotland and Northern Ireland, there is a traditional wedding custom called blackening, which is performed in the days or weeks prior to marriages. Believe it or not, the bride and the groom are captured by friends and family, covered in food, or a variety of other, preferably adhesive, substances, following which they are paraded publicly for the community to see. And why do they do this to the couple? To see whether they are able to handle everything in a relationship. China, cry for a month before the wedding. Though not so popular as before, the custom of crying before a month of wedding is still observed by people in many places. Especially people from Tujia community, who view it as a necessary marriage procedure. According to elderly people of that community, every bride has to cry at the wedding. Otherwise, the bride's neighbors would look down upon her as a poorly brought up girl, and she would become the laughingstock of the village. Hence, people of the Tujia community start crying a month before a wedding. The female relatives of the bride chime in along with the bride herself and they cry out buckets in belief. Sweden, kiss the bride or the groom. Now this is certainly strange, if in a wedding ceremony in Sweden, a groom leaves the room. All men gear up to kiss the bride, and if the bride excuses to use the washroom, then all women line up to kiss the groom. This is a really fun ritual that the people of Sweden follow. Germany, break the dish. In Germany, the guests bring porcelain for the newlyweds, and guess what they do with them? They go berserk, break all those porcelain dishes and welcome them. This ritual is followed because the Germans believe that the sound of the smashing dishes keep the evil spirits away. French Polynesia, forming a human carpet. Compared to others in this list, this one is a mildly weird tradition. Once the wedding is done, relatives lie on the ground face down, and the newly wedded couple is expected to walk on the rug which is on top of the people. Wales, spoon of love. Just when you thought you are done with the strangest traditions of wedding, here comes the icing on the cake. A groom is expected to gift his new bride a carved love spoon. Yes, you heard it right. A love spoon, which signifies that the man would never let his woman go hungry. India, the groom's shoe is robbed. Indians surely do have few rituals, but the one that they follow with great spirit and vigor is robbing the shoes of the groom. In this ritual, the bride's friends and her sisters tease the groom, and bargain him for money in exchange of his stolen shoes. Sudan, 2 kids before marriage. In southern Sudan there is a belief that marriage can only prosper when the bride gives birth to 2 children. If she doesn't comply with this expectation, the groom may as well divorce her. Africa, mother comes in for the honeymoon. If you thought certain rituals in this list were plain bizarre, wait for this one. Mothers or elders of certain African tribes accompany the newlyweds to educate them on how to spend the night.